This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
Is Time Magazine one of the most innovative companies right now in terms of AI? What does Apple's new AI plans mean for their long-term strategy? And can anyone tell the difference between human and AI responses? We're going to be talking about those things today and more on Everyday AI. What's going on, y'all? My name is Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host of Everyday AI, and this is for you. This is your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter helping everyday people like you and me learn and leverage generative AI to grow our companies and to grow our careers. So if you're joining on the podcast, thank you. As always, make sure to check out your show notes for a lot more on today's episode, as well as a link to go join our free daily newsletter where there's always a sign-on gift once you sign on. So make sure to go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for that free daily newsletter if you haven't already. All right, with that, y'all, let's get it going because you can spend literally hours a week trying to keep up with the AI news, or you can spend your Mondays with us. On almost every Monday, we do this live, y'all. This is unedited, unscripted. We just bring you the AI news that matters every single Monday. So let's dive straight into it. And for our live stream audience out there, Brian and Tara and Raul, thanks for joining us. Let me know what you think of the AI news as we go along. A lot going on today and this week. So let's get straight into it. So first, pretty big news here. Apple's kind of shift towards software and AI. Pretty game changer in terms of their normal strategy. So according to reports from Bloomberg, Apple's focus on software and AI signals a strategic shift to drive revenue growth amid slowing hardware innovation. So according to these reports, the company is now aiming to extend the lifespan of its devices through software support and repair services, challenging the traditional upgrade cycle that is a little more hardware based. So the upcoming iPhone 16 lineup will highlight new, what they're calling Apple Intelligence features, emphasizing the importance of recent models for optimal performance. So Mac and iPad users may be incentivized to upgrade for enhanced software capabilities, paving the way for potential subscription-based AI services in the future. Apple's move toward AI-driven services reflects a broader industry trend of leveraging software to sustain business growth amid evolving customer preferences. So this one will be pretty interesting. And, we've talked about this here on the Everyday AI Show a lot, just even in general, Apple's AI strategy, right? They call it Apple Intelligence. I don't know. Is it just me, y'all? Like, I struggle with that. Apple just trying to rebrand AI and call it Apple Intelligence. I still chuckle. Such an Apple thing to do, right? I don't know how this is going to work in the long run. So I think in the short run, Apple is going to see some great gains from this, right? We've seen their stock actually respond positively, right? Even though they were the absolute last big, tech company to roll out its own internal AI plan or to roll out its AI plan to users, which essentially Apple has a on-device AI that they built themselves, but for the most part, they're going to be leveraging OpenAI's GPT-4o model. Here's where this kind of new long-term strategy really plays out. So like I read off there, hardware sales have slowed down a lot for Apple and, well, a lot of other manufacturers. So what Apple is kind of hoping is to compete with its software. And here's where that comes into play. Well, this new Apple Intelligence is only going to be available, at least on the iPhone, on newer models. So it is going to require either the brand new Apple iPhone 16, which I believe will be released in this fall, or a newer Apple iPhone 15. So it seems like Apple may be relying too heavily on people upgrading their devices just to take advantage of this quote unquote Apple Intelligence. I don't personally see that working, right? Phones are getting more and more expensive, right? And yes, although signs of the economy are going well, but I don't know, at least here in the U.S., if the average American is ready to spend $1,000 to $1,500 just to get a new hardware, right? To get a new Apple iPhone, just to take advantage of the new software. I don't think that that is going to stick, at least in the short term. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who may upgrade a little sooner, but it seems like when the iPhones first came out, it seems like people did kind of upgrade every 2 years or so. When the phones were $400, $500, $600. But now that they're $1,200 to $1,500 for a higher end phone, I don't see this as a great long-term strategy for Apple, if I'm being completely honest, right? Especially when you can get so much of this kind of quote unquote AI power for free, right? So there's so many great free AI models out there. So it's kind of this balance between um, having this personal productivity, because that's where Apple's really trying to play here, right? They're trying to be the main company, I guess, going after this personal AI segment, right? It doesn't even look like they're trying to compete on the business side. So pretty interesting here. And I don't think that this necessarily is a good strategy for their Mac line. I don't think that's what they're trying to do here, because any recent computer with the M1 or M2 or M3 or higher chip should be able to take advantage of most of the Apple intelligence, which is essentially any new computer over the last 4 or 5 years, or about, 3.5, 4.5 years. Whereas on the iPhone side, it's only the most recent models. So it should be interesting. And, I'm curious for our live stream audience, are you going to upgrade your phone earlier than normal to get, these Apple intelligence features, right? I don't know if I am, to be honest. I might wait another year. I think I have I don't know, an Apple iPhone 13 or 14. I don't have the newest one, so I'm not going to get access to these Apple intelligence features. I don't know if that's going to be enough to cause me to upgrade early. And if Apple, I don't know, if there's someone that should be your easiest target market, it should be me, right? Like the guy who talks about generative AI every day and who uses so many Apple products. If I'm not running and sprinting to upgrade my iPhone, I don't know if that's the best long-term strategy, right? Hey, selling fewer iPhones. Let's just force everyone to upgrade sooner to take advantage of this quote unquote Apple intelligence. Not sure if it's going to work. Not sure if it's going to work. Deanie joining us here said, even if some people want to buy a new iPhone, iPad, etc., Apple will have a large user base that is essentially beta testing its AI features. That's a great point. There that they don't have a lot of good data, right? And that's another reason why I'm personally not running out and sprinting, right? To get this, because I think it's going to be a little buggy early on, right? This is everyone else, right? When you look at Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, right? They have millions of users that have been using their AI platforms for many months or in years. In the case of OpenAI and Microsoft, right? So yeah, I don't think the initial versions that are going to be rolling out to Apple users is going to be that fantastic. All right. Spent a little bit too long on that one, but let's keep going on with the AI news. So Time Magazine might be one of the most innovative companies out right now. So Time announced some big partnerships with OpenAI and 11 Labs. So Time Magazine has entered into a multi-year content agreement with OpenAI, granting the AI company access to Time's news archives, more than 100 years of content. So OpenAI, led by CEO Sam Altman, had previously signaled similar deals, and they've signed a ton of deals, actually, with very prominent media companies in the last couple of months, such as the Financial Times, Axel Springer, Le Monde, I think the Associated Press, like so many. OpenAI has just been signing partnerships, right? Like they're a new, NBA team, and they just have to, sign an entire roster. So this new partnership allows OpenAI to utilize Time's content for enhancing and training its AI products, while Time gains access to OpenAI's technology for developing new products. So, Time is getting something more than just a fat sum of money that, the sum was not announced, but presumably we're talking about I would guess at least an 8-figure annual partnership to be conservative, right? We've seen other kind of similar deals, like with Reddit, I believe was $20 million a year. So this collaboration aims to facilitate easier access to news content through AI tools, and that's coming from OpenAI's COO, Brad Lightcap. So content partnerships like these are crucial for training AI models and can offer news publishers a means to generate revenue, addressing historical disparities in profit sharing with internet platforms. Also, this deal is obviously very timely, right? If you haven't been following along with what's going on in the world of content, it's been a lot of lawsuits, right? I've been saying this for more than a year. I went on kind of a rant maybe 9 months ago about how the internet is unusable now. And a lot of that is because of AI, is because of large language models, right? Because how the internet has traditionally worked and how these content publishers, right, such as the Associated Press, such as Times Magazine, right? How they get so much of their revenue, in the internet age. I'm a former journalist. You get the majority of your revenue through ads, through online ad revenue, right? And as these, kind of AI chatbots or, answer engines like Perplexity, like Google Gemini, like OpenAI's ChatGPT, like Claude, right? Essentially, what a lot of these kind of AI products do is they just summarize, right? So instead of going to 3, 5, 10 different websites to get that content, when you go out and get that every single time, these online publishers get a small little slice from ad revenue, right? But now all these AI models do a lot of that work for us, and they summarize it and they just give us the nuggets, right? I spend so much less time on the internet, whereas if I'm being honest, I used to spend probably hours every single day reading, researching, different articles, different news reports, etc., for clients, doing competitive analysis, etc. Now I don't do hardly any of that because of large language models, because of internet connected large language models, especially. So, essentially what's been going on for the last year or so is just lawsuits, right? And the future of SEO and the future of online content, I think, is a big question mark. I've said this all along. I said there's not very many options for publishers, such as the Financial Times, such as Associated Press, such as Time Magazine, such as the New York Times, right? You can either sue these AI companies, such as OpenAI, such as Microsoft Copilot that uses OpenAI, such as Google, right? So you can either try to sue some of the largest organizations in the world who are putting together a literal dream team of lawyers because they know this is coming. So you can either sue them, you can either try to form a lucrative partnership, or you can maybe just go out of business, right? There's really no other choice in the long run. So this is interesting to see this roll out. I think a lot of us are still waiting on what's going to happen in kind of the marquee lawsuit, which is the New York Times versus OpenAI and Microsoft. Presumably that will be settled. We haven't really heard anything on that in a couple of months, but I think that is going to signal what the future is going to look like in terms of big content publishers that haven't already kind of, jumped on board, with one of these large language models or one of these big tech companies. So pretty interesting move here from Time. And that's not their only move. They also partnered with 11 Labs. So Time and 11 Labs teamed up to add automated voiceovers to time.com, allowing for access to trusted information in audio form. And this partnership is obviously looking to enhance engagement and accessibility for readers on Time. So, hey, even if Time is going to be getting fewer visitors to their website, at least those visitors are going to be spending a little bit more time on page, right? An important SEO metric, an important metric for those advertisers that are on time.com. So Time with some pretty impressive moves. Just this all dropped, over the course of the last few days. So let's keep this going. More AI news. Oh, it never stops. It never stops. All right. So this one here, some AI generated exam answers had fooled professors at the University of Reading. So in the UK, the University of Reading conducted a groundbreaking study where AI generated exam answers outperformed real students, raising concerns about academic integrity and the future of education. So researchers submitted unedited AI generated answers from ChatGPT GPT-4 under fake student identities for online assessments. And only one of 33 AI generated entries was flagged by markers, with the most receiving higher grades than human students. No surprise there, right? The study indicates that AI tools are becoming increasingly adept at passing undetected in academic assessments, posing a significant challenge to maintaining integrity in education. Experts warned that the widespread availability of generative AI tools could lead to a surge in undetectable cheating in take-home exams and coursework. Also, interesting note here, the authors mentioned in the study that AI tools like ChatGPT were now passing the Turing test, a term inspired by Alan Turing, indicating the AI's ability to go undetected by experienced judges. This suggests that AI is reaching a new level where it can mimic human responses convincingly enough to deceive human evaluators. All right. I'm not going to go off on a small tirade here about did this, pass the Turing test. I don't think so. This is obviously a very small case study at one university in the UK where only one of these 33 kind of fake identities or AI identities was detected. So it's no surprise, but I actually would say this, right? I think whether college professors know this or not, I think they do. But I think the reason why this was probably undetectable is because over the course of the last year and a half, 2 years, I would say the overwhelming majority of college students have been using ChatGPT to write their papers, right? To do their online assessments. So if this was an online assessment where you are submitting chunks of text, guess what, university professors, even if you are quote unquote banning ChatGPT in the classroom, even if you say, oh, students, you can't use it, they're all using it. So I don't know if this is as much like, oh, here we have AI passing the Turing test, uh, and only one of 33 was detected. I don't, I, you know what? If nothing else, I just think that, university professors grading these assignments are just becoming increasingly numb to the fact that they've probably been seeing and reading and grading a lot of AI generated content over the past couple of years, and they haven't even maybe really noticed it. It just so happened this came with the timing, right? The timing of COVID and a lot of kind of university lockdowns and a much higher percentage of online or hybrid classes. So it kind of aligned with that. So maybe this kind of went a little bit under the radar, kind of like undetected with university professors. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Number one, we talked about this on the show last week when we had a great education-based show. I believe that was on Friday. First of all, these AI content detectors don't work. Number one. Number two, yes, AI is going to be smarter than your average college student every single time. So I don't think that's necessarily the headline grabber here. I think if nothing else, this study is being blown a little bit out of proportion. Yes, it's a little gimmicky and it's tiptoeing, like, was this even ethical to do to begin with? It's more of a gotcha kind of moment, but I think this is being blown a little bit out of proportion because you could do this test at any university, and yes, it's going to the AI generated assignments are going to get better grades than the human almost every single time. I don't think that's necessarily indicative of like, hey, we've achieved AGI. I don't think that's where we're at with this study. Yeah. What Tara said, A+ for resourcefulness. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That's another good point here is this is the future, right? Like, I don't understand why US educational systems are still banning or aren't fully teaching generative AI, because guess what?
Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI? Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So, whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI.
It's one of the most in-demand skills, right? Basic prompt engineering, being able to use a variety of AI softwares, right? This is what we want our employees, at least here in the US. These are the skill sets that are in the most high demand. This is what you're going to be using. You're going to be using tools like, ChatGPT and Perplexity and Claude and Gemini in the quote unquote real world. If you want to succeed in business, you have to understand the basics of prompt engineering, large language models, using these AI systems. Yet, they're bad, quote unquote, they're bad in the US, higher education system. That's because it's a broken system, right? The fact that still some of the most reputable, some of the most highly esteemed academic institutions here in the US are still banning generative AI. It's pie in the face to them, right? That's terrible. You have to be teaching it, embracing it, and just changing education, right? Probably shouldn't be doing papers as a main means to see if your students have understood anything. I think verbal presentations are going to be a lot more commonplace. I think kind of quote unquote in-class work is going to be a lot more commonplace than writing papers. If going forward, if you work at a university and your main way of, especially if it's an online hybrid kind of course, if you are still kind of relying on traditional grading mechanisms, mainly papers, graded exams, and you're doing this online hybrid, it's a terrible way. Students are learning nothing in the long run, if I'm being honest, right? You have to flip the script in US higher education. I love this. Love to see former guests drop in. So Yogesh here saying faculty need to be trained first. Yeah. And are they willing to learn? That's a great point, Yogesh. I know he's a professor as well, but I think some professors are willing to learn. And I think actually professors are using AI a lot in creating their curriculum. Yet, there's still this, we still need to give students, 10-page research papers as, their midterm or a final project. That's so, y'all, can I just kick it to you straight? That is dumb. That is dumb. That is not smart. Students aren't learning anything. They're just going to use ChatGPT or other large language models. If you think that is a way to actually measure if students are learning anything, that's laughable. I am literally chuckling. I am LOLing on the other side. All right, let's keep it going with the AI news. So Anthropic, yes. So Anthropic has introduced a new collaboration feature for its Claude AI. So Anthropic has unveiled projects for its Claude AI LLM, aiming to enhance team workflows. So projects enables teams to create a centralized space for project-related content, allowing Claude to provide personalized answers based on the project's data. This initiative by Anthropic aims to eliminate cold starts by providing a knowledge base within each project, enhancing AI response time. So privacy-conscious users need not worry, though, as data shared within projects will not be used by default to train their generative models without explicit consent from the users. Also, if you use Claude Teams, pretty big news here. So Claude Team users can also share their best conversations and projects within Claude in a shared project feed, fostering a better sense of collaboration and knowledge sharing amongst teammates. So these new features, though, are exclusive to Claude's paid Pro and Team customers and are powered by Claude 3.5 Sonnet, pretty powerful new model from Anthropic, and claim to outperform GPT-4o and Google Gemini's 1.5. So Anthropic's vision for kind of Claude AI and with the new projects feature, and we covered the artifacts feature as well. It's kind of create systems that work alongside individuals to enhance their workflow. So a little bit more team collaboration, as well as with the artifacts feature that they released about 2 weeks ago, which is essentially an inline code renderer, right? So you can render code in real time, right? You don't have to copy and paste it and, take it into a sandbox or Replit or something like that, as well as it can render dashboards in real time, some AI art that you can generate in real time. So a pretty cool over the last 2 weeks, some updates from Anthropic. And I've been kind of hard on Anthropic. I'm still not using it day to day, even with this new projects feature, which I love because Anthropic, you are still not connected to the internet. Why? It makes zero sense. I cannot, with a straight face, encourage any business leader to use Anthropic as their base, right? When we consult companies, and if that's something that your company is looking for, reach out to us. We consult, entrepreneurs to Fortune 100 companies. If you are like, we always consult companies, you need to find your base model, right? What is your company's base model? There's a lot of questions that you need to go through, data security, your AI kind of safety procedures, etc. But you have to find your base model. And for the most part, cannot recommend anyone use right now Anthropic Claude as their base model because it is the only major model not connected to the internet. However, do love the recent news and these recent developments from Anthropic. Once they do kind of bring that internet connectivity, I think Anthropic will immediately vault itself to either 1B or 2 behind ChatGPT. So it is, I think this is a direct response to where the industry is heading, right? So OpenAI was first with their custom GPTs. And this is essentially what we're seeing here. What we're seeing here from Anthropic Claude as well is, essentially creating a small version of their base model for your needs, right? So with this new projects feature, it also has a custom instruction. So you're essentially kind of training. It's not really fine tuning, right? And it's not really RAG, right? Retrieval augmented generation, but it's kind of both of those things. So you're kind of doing a little bit of, training within these projects and a little bit of RAG, right? Bringing in your own data. So it's OpenAI has set the tone here with GPTs that they rolled out in November. Then we saw about a month ago, we saw Google announce but not release their version of this, which is called GEMS, right? So essentially creating smaller versions of Gemini, right? Kind of with specific instructions, with specific kind of training that you can go in there, and then putting in your own knowledge base as well. So technically Anthropic, I like Anthropic's release a lot better than Google, right? So Google made a big splash about it, all this big presentation and marketing, yet, it's 6 weeks later and no one has it. Yet Anthropic just, quietly just said, hey, it's available. So I like that from Anthropic. And we did do a complete show, last week, kind of comparing the newest version of Anthropic's 3.5 Sonnet within Claude versus GPT-4o. All right. Last but not least in AI news, this one is interesting. Hey, and as a sports fan and as an Olympics fan, I'm looking forward to this. So NBC is using the AI-powered voice of Al Michaels for Olympic recaps for Peacock subscribers. So NBC is set to what it thinks is revolutionize Olympic viewing experience by employing artificial intelligence to recreate the voice of renowned sportscaster Al Michaels for daily Olympic recaps, but just for Peacock streaming subscribers. So yeah, if you haven't heard of Peacock, it is the NBC's kind of their online version, right? Their Hulu or Netflix, but it is their streaming platform called Peacock. So the AI software will generate 10-minute personalized highlight packages for subscribers, offering a unique way to consume Olympic content. This innovative approach allows for approximately 7 million, according to NBC, 7 million different recap variations, drawing from 5,000 hours of live coverage in Paris. So Michaels is known for his iconic sports commentary, and he expressed initial skepticism, but was intrigued after seeing a demonstration of the AI technology in action. The AI system was trained on using Michael's prior broadcast audio from NBC, ensuring as authentic recreation of his voice as possible. A team of NBC Sports editors will oversee the content to maintain factual accuracy and ensure correct pronunciation of names. That one, I think, is going to be the most difficult, especially with a worldwide lineup of athletes. That one, I don't think, hey, I'm a human, and I go over, right, when I have guests here on the Everyday AI show, I go over pronunciations with guests right before the show, and I often get them wrong 3 minutes later. So I don't think that they're going to be able to get all of these names correct. We'll see. So this new feature is called Your Daily Olympic Recap on Peacock. Very creative there. And it'll be available only to Peacock subscribers starting on July 27th, 2024. Also, the Peacock service, yeah, so you have to be a paid subscriber. They weren't very explicit with that, saying like, yes, this is for paid subscribers. We did a little digging. It does appear that it is only going to be for paid subscriber. And guess what? As of today, Peacock just hiked up their price for a subscription. It was $12 a month without ads up until about 8 hours ago, as of July 1st. Now it is $14 a month for the ad-free version. But if I'm being honest, though, I might do this for a month, right? I might do that for a month. I love watching the Olympics. Did anyone else watch women's gymnastics? My gosh. Geez, I mean, Simone Biles is on another level, right? So fun to watch. But I love watching the Olympics. But do I have time to watch 3 to 4 hours of Olympic coverage? Like, absolutely not, right? Like last night I was preparing for this show. My wife had we had it on DVR or, YouTube TV and whatever. And she said, okay, hey, here's what you got to watch, right? So I was able to watch, 2 or 3 hours worth of Olympic coverage in, 20 minutes. So I'm personally looking forward to this. I might subscribe to Peacock just for this, right? Huge time saver, the personalized experience. So yeah, I'm curious for our live stream audience. Are you going to want some AI Al? Which is funny because when you write it, you don't actually know if it's AI. Capital AI is the same as capital A lowercase l. I was a little confusing covering that in the newsletter last week. I'm like, wait, does this say AI or does this say Al? So pretty exciting, kind of experiment here from NBC and bringing kind of AI news coverage. And this is the first, at least large scale version of this that we've seen here in the US. No pressure, NBC and Peacock, but literally the eyes of the world are going to be on this feature, right? Because I can only imagine that if it's bad early on, it is going to get ridiculed, right? It is going to grab more headlines than if it gets it wrong, right? Because I think what so many people are talking about, at least here in the US, right? Will AI take my job, right? Like, where are my skills actually, be valuable in the future? So if this is really good, I think a lot of people are going to be talking about it. And if it's really bad, even more people are going to be talking about it. So, kind of high risk, high reward for this new feature from NBC and from Peacock. So that is it, y'all, for the AI news that matters. If you're listening on the podcast, appreciate your support. Let's just do super quick recap. Yeah, sometimes I drag these on. So number one, we talked about Apple's shift a little bit more towards software and AI to kind of make up for hardware sales, which have been slacking. So just kind of part of their new long-term strategy, according to Bloomberg reports. Next, Time announced big AI partnerships with OpenAI and 11 Labs. So with OpenAI granting more than 100 years of content, but also getting to use OpenAI's technology, and with 11 Labs, just offering a more innovative and engaging experience on the time.com website. Next, AI generated exam answers fooled professors at the UK at the University of Reading. So essentially, professors couldn't tell the difference, and AI got it better. No surprise there. Anthropic introduced their new projects feature, which I personally liked. I'll probably do a head-to-head of Anthropic projects and ChatGPT's GPT. So let me know if you want to see that. But pretty new and exciting feature that Anthropic rolled out, but just to paid subscribers in their pro or team plans. And then last but not least, NBC is set to unveil its AI-powered voice of Al Michaels for personalized Olympic recaps for Peacock subscribers starting July 27th for the Paris 2024 Summer Olympics. All right. If this was helpful, y'all, let me know, but also tune in tomorrow. So what we did back in December, we gave our 2024 predictions for AI. So we're going to be giving ourselves a little midterm grade tomorrow for our Hot Take Tuesday. So going over our 2024 AI predictions, did we get them right? Did we get them wrong? We'll be bringing the receipts as always. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. If this was helpful, let us know. Please give us a rating on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, if you listen there. Also, go to youreverydayai.com. Sign up for the free daily newsletter. We're going to be recapping today's episode and more. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you tomorrow and every day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.